Give me 1 second. I'm having some issues logging into Zoom right now on my laptop. I was able to do it through my phone, but not through my laptop. Give me 1 second. Grace or Alex, are you guys on the Zoom call?
Yes.
Can either one of you pull up the agenda, please, and then go ahead and just share your screen?
Yeah, I do not have access to the agenda, I don't believe. It says that I'm like, my UCR email is blocked from access.
You talking about the meeting minutes?
The agenda and the meeting minutes. Either one is fine.
Okay, hold on.
Why isn't it?
Is that fine?
Yes, that works perfect. Okay, I just got signed in. Okay. Here we go. Okay, Alex, so you have the can you share your screen, please?
Can you guys still see the agenda if I were to type on the meeting minutes?
Okay. Give me 1 second. Okay. Okay. All right, can you all hear me? All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start meeting. I call this meeting to order at 7:07 p.m. In the spirit of Rupert and Jeanette Costa's founding relationship to our campus, we would like to respectfully acknowledge. Okay, 1 second. We would like to respectfully acknowledge and recognize our responsibility to the original caretakers of this land, water, and air, the Cahuilla, Tongva, Luiseño, and Serrano peoples, and all of their ancestors and descendants, past, present, and future. Today, this meeting place is home to many Indigenous peoples from all over the world, including UCR faculty, students, and staff, and we are grateful to have the opportunity to live and work on these homelands. Roll call, please.
President Pro Tempore Ramirez.
We'll go ahead and excuse him today.
Chasener Clovis.
Present.
Chasener Garcia.
Present.
Chasener A. Gutierrez. Chasener A. Gutierrez.
Excused.
Chasener Y. Gutierrez.
I believe she's signing in right now. Chas Senator Y. Gutierrez, are you here?
Yes, I am here.
Chasener Huerta.
Here.
Chasener Kim.
Present.
Chasener Menendez.
Present.
Chasener Nguyen.
Excused.
Sina Senator Amin.
Present.
Sina Senator Hernandez.
Present.
Sina Senator Nguyen.
Present.
Sina Senator Perez.
Present.
Sina Senator Velarde.
Present.
BCO Senator Tai. BCO Senator No.
Excused.
GSO Senator Zhang.
Present.
SVP Senator Thomas.
Present.
Thank you. Okay, so next on the agenda is approval of the agenda. So it's shared on everyone's screens right now. This is all I have for this week. Are there any corrections?
Senator EVP Cortez, I have something I want to say.
Yes, go ahead.
Can I add SB S20-007 under Section 4 Committee Reports LRC?
Could you repeat the Senate bill again? I'm sorry.
Yeah, SB S20-007. It's the stipend increase.
For the executive vice president, correct?
Yes.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor of adding Senate Bill Spring 20007 to the agenda? All those opposed? All those abstain? 1, 2. Are there only 12 senators present right now? Alex, could you verify that there's only 12 senators present right now? Through the meeting minutes, please. I'm gonna go ahead and stop your video if you're not a senator. Alex, can you verify that there's only 12 senators through the minutes?
I think there's 13.
13? Okay, I'm missing one vote. All those in favor of adding Senate Bill Spring 20007 to the agenda? All those opposed? All those opposed? I'm sorry, you can only vote once, Senator Perez. All those opposed? Okay. All those abstain? I don't believe everyone is voting.
I think Danielle cannot turn on her camera, so she's using her hand thing to raise.
Okay, let me pull up the chat. Okay, one more time. All those in favor of adding Senate Bill Spring 20007 onto the agenda, please raise your hand. Okay, all those opposed? All those abstain? Danielle, how do you vote?
In favor.
Okay, motion passes 11-02. Thank you. We're going to go ahead and add that onto our agenda for today. I'll go ahead and write the entire name of it. Okay, so now we have approval of the agenda. Are there any more amendments or corrections that anybody would like to make to the agenda?
EVP Cortez, Ames had a question in the chat.
Something to be voted on. I don't believe they did. Ames, I'm so sorry. I can go ahead and double check. Okay, Alexis just texted me. Can I get someone to motion to add 2 GCAP grants under the committee reports as a separate section, please?
Motion to add GCAP committee reports to the agenda.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor of adding GCAP committee reports onto the agenda? All those opposed? All those abstain? I only got 11 votes. Senator Velarde, how do you vote?
In favor.
Okay, motion passes 12-0-0. We're going to go ahead and add GCAP allocations or committee reports onto the agenda. Are there any more corrections? If not, can I get a motion to approve the agenda, please?
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor of approving the agenda as is projected on the screen? All those opposed? All those opposed? All those abstain? Senator Velarde, how do you vote?
In favor.
Okay, motion passes 12-0-0. Thank you. GCAP is now on the agenda. Next, we have approval of the previous meeting minutes. So the meeting minutes are projected on the screen for you all to view now. Sorry.
Motion to approve previous meeting minutes. Second.
Thank you. All those in favor of approving previous meeting minutes? All those. All those opposed? All those abstain? Senator Velarde, how do you vote?
In favor.
Thank you. Passes 13-0-0. Wait.
Amy said that the date is January 22nd, and if that was a typo or not.
Oh. Thank you. Wait, it's not 22nd?
No, it's the month.
It should be like May 27th, I think.
Yeah. Okay. All those in favor of approving Senate meeting number 9? All those opposed?
It's May 27th, not 22nd.
Okay. All those in favor of approving meeting minutes number 9? Senator Velarde, how do you vote?
In favor.
Thank you. Motion passes 13-0-0. Next, we have public forum. If any members of the public would like to address our Senate, please do so now. You can do so using the chat or using your microphone.
I'd like to make a statement.
Go ahead.
So my statement is in regards to the murder of George and other racial injustices that have been happening across the United States, on our campus, in our own communities. And I just wanted to say that while the post that you made and the statement that you made on your Instagram was a step in the right direction, it was nowhere near being enough. As the student body that we elected to represent us, your presence is just so missing and so lacking that it just shows that the statement that you made is so extremely performative. You have so many students in your comments that are saying, we want you to open your wallets, we want to see action, and we don't just want to see a statement. Your statement was extremely vague, only mentioned George Floyd and none of the other people who had been brutally murdered by racial violence. And you did not even pledge to make any sort of action. You did not make any sort of pledge that you would try to work against anti-Blackness on our campus, that you would try to address UCPD, that you would try to get justice for the people who were wrong, like people from our own campus, from our own student organizations on campus that have been wrongfully arrested and stopped by UCPD. You did not make any statements against that. And I understand your statement was probably rushed and you just wanted to get out there and make sure that people weren't criticizing you immediately, and you just wanted to make sure that that your voice was heard. But we don't want you to just make a statement, which was basically just a PR statement for you, it was just a press release, and then move on. This stuff has been happening for years. Last year, when one of our own students that is very active on campus was arrested, what did ASUCR do? What legislation did you put in place? This issue has already been in front of you for years, and I think the only reason why it was addressed now is because it would be inappropriate not to. And I just want to see so much more from you. And the fact that today that you just voted to add the EVP stipend onto the agenda to be voted on today is so disrespectful, because that was specifically mentioned in your student comments, that why are we increasing somebody's stipend when you should be opening your wallets and donating money to a cause that people are getting shot with rubber bullets for and getting tear gassed for. And the $40,000 that you want to pledge towards sweatshirts is just, it boggles my mind. We live in such a low income community. Riverside is one of the most communities in Southern California that is stratified on the basis of wealth. And you want to put $40,000 worth of our own money towards sweatshirts so that we can have school pride. Why would we have in a school CPD on campus that discriminates against our Black students so much? I don't have pride for my school. This is what my student body is putting in as a solution to our problems, because really you did not suggest any solutions. You just wanted to make yourself look a little bit better. You know, it would have made just as big of an impact if you guys just posted a black screen like everybody else. And that's the end of my statement.
Thank you. Next we have Sari Fuentes.
Hello everyone, my name is Sari Fuentes. I am Chief Justice of Judicial Council. Basically, we're here to discuss our recent decision of a judicial review regarding SB S20-007, since this was a case filed to us regarding it. We actually do have a decision ready, and if we are allowed to, we're more than able to our decision. If that's okay.
I'm sorry, could you repeat what you said?
What was that?
What?
Could you repeat what you said? I'm so sorry.
Julian, you're unmuted.
Am I muted, or can everybody hear me?
I can hear you, but I just couldn't hear what it was that you said that you wanted to speak about today.
Oh, okay. So basically, Judicial Council recently had a case regarding SB 20, the stipend increase. and it was just to do a judicial review. We were able to make a decision last night, and I can refer to one of my other justices to read out this decision out loud for you all, if you guys want to.
If you'd like to, you can go ahead. You have about a minute and a half left.
Okay. Can I request to get a time extension for the decision to be read out, if that's possible?
Once the time is over, then we can go ahead and give you the decision.
Okay. Adrian, can you please read out the decision, please?
Yeah. So, in a unanimous decision, the ASUCR Judicial Council has deliberated over the voting procedures taken by Senate led by the ASUCR Executive Vice President Abigail Cortez in a particular case for a conflict of interest for a Senate member in their future position as Executive Vice President. On the evening of Wednesday, May 27th, ASUCR Senate voted on a Senate Bill S-20-007, which regards a series of bylaw amendments to the EVP position, which included a stipend increase. Based on the orders of business and regulations for the meetings of the Student Senate, Section 3, quorum shall constitute a simple majority of the elected senators, and votes shall be based on a 2/3 majority. This particular Senate meeting consisted of 16 members, and therefore was in need of 11 votes total to reach a 2/3 majority. Senate Bill S-20-007 was voted upon 3 times, with the initial vote count being 10-4. No motion was made to rescind the votes after having already announced the official vote count, and a second voting round was commenced by EVP Abigail Cortez on the Senate Bill S-20-007. The Senate voted a second time on the Senate Bill S-20-007 because, according to EVP Abigail Cortez, there is confusion about the total number of votes in favor of the bill, and the vote count resulted in 10-4. Then the Senate voted a third time due to Senate member Natalie Hernandez asking the Senate if she could change her vote from abstain to in support of Senate Bill S-20-007. The EPP asked for a motion to approve a vote change, and the motion passed for Natalie Hernandez to vote in support of the bylaw amendment.
Unfortunately, your time is up. Is there a motion to extend the time?
Motion to extend the time by 5 minutes.
Please keep in mind that there are other folks who would like to speak for public forum, so I would encourage you to decrease the amount of time that you are extending for this one speaker.
Is it possible to leave it as is? Just they might not go the whole time.
Yeah. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor of extending time by 5 minutes? Senator Velarde, how do you vote?
In favor.
Okay, motion passes 13-0. You have 5 more minutes. Go ahead.
Okay. The third round of votes, which is the last round of votes, resulted in a vote count of 11-3. The main question that arises from this case is how voting should be conducted if the Senate decides to vote multiple times on a bill. Based on Robert's Rules of Order, Article 6, Section 38, a 2/3 vote to rescind votes by EVP Abigail Cortez is required to move forward with a new count of votes on the same agenda item. Since the Senate had already reached a decision on the total number of votes in favor of the bill, they needed to approve upon that resignation of the previous votes based on majority votes. The procedure to revote from an abstention to an in-support vote would need a motion to allow Natalie Hernandez to change her individual vote, which is what was done. However, there is no need for the whole Senate to revote. This can be found in Robert's Rules of Order, Article 7, Section 46. Based on procedure, Natalie Hernandez was the only person needing to change the vote. Even despite this, prior to procedure, in order to have voted a third time, the Senate would have needed to rescind the first 2 votes in order to have the third vote qualified for a revote. And then a motion to revote would have been needed as well. Along with this, conflict of interest arose as a result of Senate member Natalie Hernandez voting on the EVP bylaw amendment that overall focused on a stipend increase due to concerns of the EVP position being underpaid. Natalie abstained her first 2 votes, and by the third round, she voted in favor after a change of vote requested by Natalie was approved. Article 8, Section 46 of Robert's Rules of Order state that it is a general rule that no one can vote on a question in which he has a direct personal or pecuniary interest. Therefore, Natalie is unable to vote on this issue due to her acknowledgement of the rest of the Senate's acknowledgement of her future fulfillment of the Executive Vice President position and the bylaws amendment to increase the stipend. She should have remained as abstained, and an approval for Natalie to change her vote was discouraged based on Robert's Rules of Order. After reviewing the case and testimony thoroughly, we have decided that a motion to rescind was required and the voting procedure was conducted unconstitutionally. This particular Senate bill requires a 2/3 vote to pass. However, there is a majority vote conducted. When attempting to resolve this with a new vote, no motion was made to rescind the previous votes. Therefore, any future votes made after are considered unconstitutional. Furthermore, there is also the issue with conflict of interest regarding the revote decision made by Natalie Hernandez because of her future fulfillment of the EVP position and the bylaws focus of increasing the EVP stipend. According to ASUCR bylaw chapter 17, section 4, part B, all voting procedures must be followed based on Robert's Rules of Order. Therefore, Natalie Hernandez's vote cannot be considered as valid. And thank you for the time extensions.
Thank you. Give me 1 second to see who we have next. Next we have Jeffrey. Whenever you're ready, go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
My name is Jeffrey, and I'm a second year. I'm speaking today in regards to what I read in the Highlander last week. I read that the ASUCR Senate did not pass the bylaw about the Arguer initiative. Honestly, this surprised me. I did not expect controversy over such a beneficial program ASUCR hosts annually. I can recall my freshman year when my friends asked me to join them in line to wait for Arguer. This is how I learned our student government provides us something the school does not, a free sweater. I found this extremely beneficial during the winter season. Let's be honest, it gets freaking cold here in Riverside at night. So today, I just speak on behalf of my friends and I in support of Arguer. My friends and I enjoy attending Arguer because it was a bonding experience for us, and there is nothing like Arguer. We found the excitement of waiting 2 through 4 hours each year. And to be frank, Arguer is one of the events my friends and I are interested in having hosted by ASUCR. Without it, we may not have learned of this organization or continue to follow it. Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to go ahead and move on to Ashley Taylor. Go ahead, whenever you're ready.
Hi. So I would just like to say, first of all the ASUCR members who received an email, I was the one who you were in correspondence with if you respond to those emails. And I would like to say, first of all, thank you for all of you who voiced your support. I would also like to say that I was very disappointed with the timing it took to get responses to those emails. While I acknowledge that you are a student government, it does take time for each individual to release official statements, and you don't want to go against the best interest of ASUCR. Within 24 hours, I only received one email in response to the student demands, and it took another ASUCR representative reaching out to me to help get other representatives also stand in solidarity with the statements and demands. I would like to point out that if ASUCR is going to release statements saying that they support the Let's Take Action group run by students, you must also acknowledge that this includes supporting new community boards, new student services, clubs and organizations, and inevitably, when at the best interest of students, we start demanding systematic changes within ASUCR. I think it's very apparent that we all know that students do have some qualms with ASUCR, and when we reach out to you and we say and we demand change to happen within ASUCR, we also demand fair seats at that table as well. There's no way that in your statement you can say that you support Black students and Black lives when ASUCR has a representation of not having fair, equal, or equitable representation of Black and Brown students in government, especially Black students. This also means if you support us, support in standing against the S&C or incomplete that Chancellor Wilcox has stated that is okay for professors to give out. This is not enough. This is bare minimum and is harmful to students. We need you to use your voice and your privilege right now to stand against S&C and incomplete. It is the bare minimum and is also the least that ASUCR can do.
Thank you. Next we have Vincent. You have 30 seconds.
Hi everyone. Yeah, I just wanted to make some quick remarks. I did want to share the sentiment that has already been shared by my fellow peers here tonight. And I am here in solidarity with the Black lives that have been lost to racist police violence in the past week, let alone all of the lives that have been lost leading up until this point. And I think in terms of student leaders standing in solidarity with this movement, I really do feel disappointed within the remarks that were posted by the associated students. I think there could have been a lot more effort and a lot more collaboration put into it. And I think now's the time more than ever.
Is there a motion to extend time?
I motion to extend time for public comment.
Actually, I'm so sorry. Since the agenda was approved, and the maximum amount of time allocated for public forum is 15 minutes, we do have to move on to committee reports. I'm so sorry, Vincent, and everyone that wanted to come after Vincent. You can go ahead and give your comment during public comment, which is item 8 on the agenda. I'm so sorry. I did not mean to cut you off, but we have to go ahead and
we can't motion to okay. It is.
I'm so sorry. Since the agenda got approved as 3 minutes per person with a 15-minute maximum, we have to go ahead and move on. So we're going to go ahead and move on to committee reports, starting with Senate Resolution Spring 20002. The President Pro Tempore is not here right now, so I'm going to go ahead and pass it on to the ASUCR President, Julian Gonzalez, to go ahead and speak about this resolution.
So I want to thank everyone that came out to represent and then also show solidarity for the Black lives that have been lost. And I do recognize the concerns and the lack of communication that ASUCR has had, not only this year, but before in the past when it came to advocating for Black students and the Black community overall in ASUCR. And I made sure we made that clear in our statement. And it is just for personal background. Sometimes it is hard to kind of time statements and making sure that we are making our voices heard and making sure that the students know that we are in solidarity with them. So we did have initially planned to release that statement that was on Instagram and also release the resolution where we had action plans or I guess action items to fulfill. And if you could zoom in, EVP Cortez, to the action plan, we can, where it says resolved. So I'll just go through all of these. And if anyone has any questions after, then you can ask. The resolution is, the action plans of the resolution kind of go hand in hand with the statement, and that the Associated Students of UC Riverside will take a stand on the systemic racial injustices that have plagued society for centuries. Let it be further resolved that ASUCR will seek avenues to contribute progressive causes monetarily to the full potential with which is permitted by the university. In this line item, we're going to go into when we get into the finance report. And then let it be further resolved that ASUCR will commit to create fundraising initiatives to donate to organizations like Black Lives Matter. And then let it be further resolved that ASUCR will work to implement trainings for future incoming officials to ensure there are effective student leaders and allies. And that one kind of entails trainings that UCSA does during their conferences, like anti-Blackness trainings. And I want to see that implemented within ASUCR. Let it be further resolved that ASUCR recognizes the pride that the university takes in having a diverse student population and will do its best to ensure that this value continues to be a pillar for the university as a whole. And of course, this will be in collaboration with the communities that need our support from this point moving forward. And in this time, the Black community on campus. Let it be further resolved that ASUCR demands the faculty and the academic senate to recognize the impacts the mentioned incidents in our nation will have on students' academics. This goes hand in hand with the BSU demand to go a no failing policy for the quarter or until this issue is solved. Let it be further resolved that ASUCR demands the immediate cancellation, postponement, or optional choice for spring quarter 2020 final exams to ease the burden created by the COVID-19 pandemic and the current ongoing social tensions. Let it be further resolved that ASUCR demands the campus-wide support for the Black student community, which include the physical and monetary support of African student programs, the Pan-African Theme Hall, and the various student organizations in the Black community. Let it be further resolved that ASUCR demands that the Dean of Students create a dedicated committee or working group which incorporates student representatives, Black staff, and could you go back up? I didn't finish reading that one. Black staff and administration that is consistently present every year and has more responsibility and power than simply suggesting actions to the Chancellor. Let it be further resolved that ASUCR demands the open exploration of new tactics and forms of protection in our community outside of UCPD, while also having consistent dialogue with officers and implementing resources such as body cameras, anti-prejudice escalation modules, and constructive communication strategies. Let it be further resolved that ASUCR demands UCR to incorporate Black student representatives on the hiring committee for any UCPD officers or chief of police. Can we scroll down a little bit to the next page? Let it be further resolved that ASUCR will create events to better educate the student body on how to be an ally. Let it be further resolved that since resolutions are only valid for the year they are voted in, this resolution will stand until the 2020-21 Senate is in session and can vote on it at the first Senate meeting in fall of 2020. Let it be further resolved that ASUCR calls upon UCPD, UCR Chancellor Kim Wilcox, Vice Chancellor of Student Affairs Brian Haynes, Dean of Students Christine Mata, Deans from each respective college, and GSA offices to make a formal statement to stand in solidarity with the Black Lives Movement. Let it be finally resolved that ASUCR calls upon the aforementioned individuals and offices to educate themselves on the subject and continue to advocate for the movement in the best interest of the student population. And of course, this is a resolution with just words, and I know that actions speak louder than words. I unfortunately will not be here after next Sunday as AS president. So I'm really hoping that the new incoming officers will take this on. Not only what's outlined in this resolution, but what's also detailed and outlined by the demands of Black students and then the students' organizations and support in the BSU demand, the list of demands that they are presenting to the Chancellor. So I hope this is a step in the right direction for ASUCR.
Motion to extend public forum. I apologize, President Gonzalez. I feel like at this point we're not playing fair, and it's important for students to be able to speak. And in the bylaws, it says nothing about us already having to vote in order to extend public forum. So I would like to motion for us to vote to extend it so we can let students speak. This is the last Senate meeting. I feel like it's okay just to kind of let students speak at the last Senate meeting of the year. We're already here. Students should have the time to speak. So I would also encourage senators to stand with me in this, because this is literally the reason why we're here. And I'd like to motion.
I second.
Okay, so your motion is to extend public forum, correct?
Yes.
And how much time?
I'm going to say 15 minutes to start.
Would anybody like to second that?
Second.
Second.
All those in favor of extending public forum by 15 minutes? Senator Velarde, how do you vote?
In favor.
Thank you. Motion passes 13-0-0. So there are 15 more minutes for public forum. We're going to go ahead and continue with Vincent if you have not finished your statement yet.
Yeah, sure. So I don't really know where I left off or where I was suddenly muted, but I did want to share the sentiment that my fellow peers within our efforts that we drafted the statement and list of demands and submitted to the Chancellor. We've garnished over 8,000 signatures and pretty much campus-wide support for our efforts. And I do want to reiterate that I think there could have been a lot more momentum and support should we have seen that energy within the associated students and our representatives. And I think within the statement itself, it's really, really critical at times like this, and even just being active proactive in general to make sure that we're cognizant of like the critiques and the criticisms and any sort of feedback that we can in order to be better and do better. And I would just really commend the student leaders, especially student leaders within our Black student community who have spearheaded these efforts. And I hope that moving forward, AS is able to recognize that and give credit where it's due, and also be able to push and get more creative in terms of the resources that y'all have literally at your dispense. $40,000 is a lot of money. I don't know if that's something that's like not like clicking for anyone, but that's a lot of money. I think it's time to get creative, and it's time to really make sure that there are ways that we're actively engaging with, empowering, and centering Black student voices moving forward. And that's all.
Thank you. Next we have Sean Lynn. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and start.
Abigail, I think Diana Castaneda is before me.
I have already spoken to Director Castaneda about how she's not a member of the public, so whenever you're ready.
Okay, okay. Hello everyone. I hope everyone is staying safe and well. I just wanted to comment on the events I have seen take place since our last meeting on Wednesday. Since then, we have seen the UCR undergraduate student body come together to uplift our fellow Black colleagues. ASUCR released an official statement pledging support on the matter, explicitly stating we can no longer be silent. We have also seen our Highlander community come together to co-sign a letter with our Black Student Union asking for change to the remainder of the quarter and support of the Black student community. I have also seen my fellow Highlanders marching in their respective cities to change the culture of our American realities. But I have also seen performance activism. Seeing Highlanders say, "Where's the spray paint?" or looking at all the people joining my Instagram live and laughing while witnessing the chaos that is happening in the city that our institution shares its name with is quite disheartening. It is taking away from the spotlight that this issue needs. It is taking away from the message of these protests, but more importantly, it is taking away from the very message that we as Highlander wanted to amplify. Regardless of how you take this, I hope that everyone takes the time to ask themselves, what am I really supporting this for? Is it for social clout, political correctness, or for bringing a solution to a problem that is long overdue? Thank you.
Thank you. Next we have Julian Brambila. Whenever you're ready, go ahead.
So I gave someone my Zoom link, so that wasn't me, that was someone else that hasn't changed their name, so I'm sorry about that.
I'm not sure who that person was. If you commented on the group chat after Sean, can you go ahead and start speaking? Okay, it doesn't look like I'm still here. So we're gonna go ahead and move on. It doesn't look like anybody else wanted to. Oh, Amy Ramirez, whenever you're ready, if you'd like to speak, go ahead.
Hi, so to begin, I would like to address, just like Julian said, that in every statement he made, he said, let it be resolved. Just saying let it be resolved does nothing. You guys have come one time and over again to tell students that you're on our side, that you're going to help us, you're going to do this, that you work for the students. You're literally supposed to be associated student body. And yet students have nothing. As I'm watching you guys right now, some of you are looking off into other screens. Julian, it looks like you're texting. I want you guys to know that you guys are not exempt from criticism, especially from the students that you guys are supposed to answer to. If any of you guys saw the public forum for the Police Commission of Los Angeles, you saw how people were talking to them and what people demanded of them. Just because you guys are a student body in the university does not mean that you guys are exempt. You guys also have people to respond to, and it's very disrespectful the fact that you guys can come on here and just like be staring off or looking angry or like looking like you don't care. I hope you guys know that you guys are college students. We expect more from you. You guys are going to go out into the world and fulfill these positions that we need change in. How is it that we're supposed to trust you to go out into society and serve the people, say that you're going to help this and this and that in the future in whatever career you choose to be in, but this is the actions that you do for a student body in your university? The students need you. And to the person who commented about, we want $40,000 sweaters because it's a great experience, that's great. There's so many other ways that you can get involved in the university to have great experiences with your friends that center around something else rather than the university spending $40,000 on a sweatshirt. I've gone to our gear. It's great. The sweaters last year were cute, sure. But do I care more about sweaters than the lives of Black people and the importance of our Black students? No, I do not. I would rather for you guys to use that money for something else within the university. And the fact that you guys said that you guys are going to do fundraisers to donate money later, why don't you guys donate your stipends now? You have a week. You guys are expecting that, like, we're not going to be here in a week, so whatever, like, say your shit now and then, like, bye. That's not the thinking. That's not forward thinking. Like, do it now. We wanted that statement to say, yes, we understand you guys. Yes, we're in solidarity with you. And to show that, here's some freaking money. Whether it's for students or Black organizations all around the world that so many of us are donating to. I'm unemployed, and I feel like I probably have donated more than some of the people here that get paid, like Julian Gonzalez, almost $10,000 a year. Some of you get paid over $5,000. Whatever it is that you make, you need to use your position in this council, in this board, to support your students and the community that you say you stand in solidarity with any way that you can. Just looking at the people on this board right now, there's literally only one Black person, Emily, and I'd like to acknowledge her for standing up for the students. But the rest of you, it's very disappointing as students of color. I myself am Hispanic, and the fact that you guys are doing the least that you can is so disappointing. It's so obvious that you guys are not standing with the students. You guys are saying you fully support the action to cancel finals or make optionals final. Make finals optional, I'm sorry. But there was more demands on that list. BSU also called for the ultimate divestment from UCPD. And what did UCPD do? They posted a freaking photo op outside of the UCPD location on campus saying, we hear you. Tell us what to do. That's not what students asked for. It's up to you guys to have a meeting with the chancellor and whoever it is that you guys need to have a meeting with and say, we stand with students and we want to do this, this, and this. You guys don't do that. You guys align yourself with the administration. You guys are the definition of bootlickers in some of these instances. Like, you have this proximity to whiteness and power, and you don't use it for the benefit of the students that you represent. Instead, you use it for the benefit of yourself to get letters of rec and praise, and I don't know what. All you guys do in your comments is praise each other. Oh my God, yes, when ASUCR posts something. But where are the comments to us, our responses, when we're calling you guys out in your comments on that statement? There's over 60 comments calling you guys out, and not one of you has bothered to respond. There was no, you guys should have made an Instagram post about this meeting. There should be more students here calling you guys out. It should not just be a handful of us. And I hope you guys know that there's more people behind our voices. Thank you. And I hope that you guys really take my words into consideration instead of taking them in the wrong way. Or if you feel criticized, good. If you feel pressured, good. Use it in your future jobs. If you're seeing how you're being criticized now here, and you think you're gonna go out into the real world and change something, you're not. With this mentality, you're not. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Castaneda. Would you like to respond?
Okay. Hi, everyone. I just wanted to comment really quickly. Obviously, I'm kind of not conflicted per se, but I definitely hear the students. I definitely share a lot of those concerns. One of the main concerns that I personally have only been using my individual platform for these things, and I encourage my other student officers and fellow representatives to be doing the same. I feel like reposting just is not enough. I think we all need to be a little bit more vocal in how we do it. I haven't been attaching my ASUCR title to it just because I've just been using it on my personal platforms, but if that's something that would be helpful, then that is something that I'm absolutely willing to do. Unfortunately, as much as I would love to donate my entire stipend, I'm not gonna be able to do much if I'm homeless, you know, like I work multiple jobs. This is not my only job, like at all. Like I donated, but it's just, I feel like we should not be shaming people for how much they're able to donate as long as they donate, period. We're all college students. If you're gonna get mad at someone for not donating, go to the bigger people, go to real adults with real jobs. Like that, as much as this thousands of dollars sound, like it's not, it's just like,
I can't. Like, I would love to, but I just absolutely, we can't be donating all of our stipends like that. But I definitely think all of us do need to be vocal in it. As with the statement, I just wanted to point out some discrepancies. That we did say the names. If that is something that should have gone first, if it's the problem of the order that it was in, then we apologize for that. But as I was looking over it, I did notice that there were names in there. And the pledge to, quote unquote, work to donate the proper ASUCR funds to the Black Lives Matter movement. It's kind of hard to explain, but to my knowledge, we can't really just don't, since it's student taxes that ASUCR is funded by, it's kind of a tricky situation there. I can't speak on behalf of finance, like obviously I'm just the elections director, but to my knowledge, there's some process in that, like we can't just take any money that we can. There are certain budgets for that, so I apologize if there were not enough concrete action plans for that. I do think it's very, I take personal offense as someone who's actually been really championing this movement and also the sexual assault survivor movement. I do take offense to kind of the morals in our character, absolutely all standing for the same thing. And obviously people look to leadership right now and we've been lacking in that. But to criticize certain things is just incorrect. And I personally noticed some signers on the BSU statement and the list of demands that was put out on the elections committee account. By the way, I was reposting all of that and trying to be as vocal as I could on my personal elections Instagram. But I just saw the signers on it who are either elected officials or soon to be elected, and you signed that and worked with them and collaborated with them, knowing and seeing before that it was posted that ASUCR was not involved in that at all. So that kind of makes me question what's the goal here. I'm so proud of people for working and standing up, but why would you purposely leave out ASUCR? If you knew that there would be a problem, it's like you had your comments ready to put in the comment section. That is a problem I have with that. Obviously with this official student government on campus, we are gonna stand by you. We have access, you're right, we have access to chancellors, we have access to deans, but how are we gonna help if we've been blindsided by that? I do think it's the ECAP's problem that they didn't reach out to BSU, but it also goes both ways. I see the person in the comments was also the person who signed it, and you didn't, you went in and posted that knowing that ASUCR was not in that. So it looked a little purposeful and it looked a little misguided in my opinion. And I think cancel culture is too much of a big thing with ASUCR. It's just where it's students are willing to kind of just overlook the matter at hand, that Black lives are being murdered and taken away. And obviously we're all trying to do something, we're trying to scramble, but we all really need to take the time to be unified right now when we're trying to do that. And I'm telling you, it's just obviously it's a really hard time, but I just don't understand how you're gonna sign on to that knowing and seeing that your organization that you were elected to is not in there and continue on with it. Thank you. Also, I would like to apologize to Ashley Taylor for kind of sending my response a little bit late. Of course, my index has been swamped, which is not an excuse, but I've reposted that and I absolutely stand by the BSU's list of demands, including the movement away from UCPD on campus, especially. Thank you.
I believe we need another motion to extend time. Do we?
It's still within the time frame, so don't worry. Next we have Chris and Lauren. Would you still like to speak during public forum?
Yeah, I put it on there twice, so I'm just gonna speak now, I guess.
Yeah, go ahead.
Last year, around this time, most of you were running for your spot here on the Senate. And last year, at the same time, there was also the Highlander Empowerment Student Services referendum, which would have given money to all the gender and ethnic offices so that they can stay functioning. These are homes for communities, for people who need that space. And I had spoken last year at the same time, telling everyone that you should have stood up for us because the students were out there really campaigning for this. We're reaching that 20%. And the senators did not need to get that 20%. They just had to get the majority vote and they would have gotten in the spot. While we had to at least get 20% of the student population to save our homes, to save our families, to save our communities. Your motion last year was to be more present in the gender and ethnic offices. I had only seen two senators come to one LGBTQ event for the LGBT Resource Center, and that was it. You did not stick to what you were going to say you were going to do. You just showed up once, and that was it. So I really urge you, for everyone listening, to please take what you are listening to and try your best to be an ally. It's not easy, but it is something that has to be done. Thank you.
Thank you. It looks like there are no other students who would like to speak for public forum. So we're going to go ahead.
I would like to speak.
I'm sorry, who is that? Could you give me your name?
Brandon Molina Berrios. Actually, the chat.
Whenever you're ready, go ahead.
Hi, everyone. My name is Brandon Molina Berrios. I'm the Native American Student Programs. I would like to just say that I would like to say that really disappointed in the well, how do I say it, in the respectability politics, essentially in the ASUCR. Like people said before, like we're basing this off of what y'all have not done. Y'all are unrecognizable at Coastal Hall. When we asked for help in regards to the student who was profiled by police, we didn't see any presence. To this day, we still see no presence on that issue. Many times we have been asking for y'all to stand in solidarity, and all we're given is statements on your accounts. If you really want to be about it, then call out the chancellor, call out UCPD for pulling that bullshit on us, man.
I'm so sorry. Is there a motion to extend time?
I move to extend time by 5 minutes.
Second. All right. All those in favor of extending time by 5 minutes? Senator Velarde, how do you vote?
In favor.
Thank you. Motion passes 13-0-0. Time is extended by 5 minutes. Brandon, if you can go ahead and continue where you left off whenever you're ready.
I appreciate that. And there has to be action beyond that, like beyond statements. Like call out the UCPD, for kneeling and pulling some performance stuff. Call out Chancellor Wilcox, add him on Instagram, like do something like that to show that you're really about it. Y'all chose these positions. Y'all really chose these positions. Y'all ran for it. And there's a lot of talk about, we're going to help out Coastal Hall. We're going to be out there for black students, brown students and all that. And, how people have said, we haven't seen that. And please don't take this personally, but this is what y'all signed up for. At the end of the day, if you take this personally, just don't run for these positions. You aren't built for it. At the end of the day, that's what it is. Stand in solidarity with the students. If we are criticizing you based on your statements, maybe there's something that y'all need to do. Just listen to the critiques and work with us. Reach out. I've told ASUCR many times this past year, reach out to us. Come to Coastal Hall and talk to us. Y'all are unrecognizable. This is why we're here coming at y'all with the critiques. Because we want, the student body to be representative of us, and we want the student body, to show that there's solidarity with students in urgent times like this. Like I said, the respectability politics has to go. If you figure out a way how you can donate as a collective in ASUCR, figure that out. See how you can do that. Donate to the funds. I understand we're all college students. We're broke, so then let's find ways where you can collectively do that. At the end of the day, like people have said, we're skeptical of the things that you say because of the actions y'all have done. So and until then, this is gonna keep happening, and this will keep on happening like many years before. So please just take our critiques seriously and talk to us and check in with us about things. Y'all are supposed to come to us. We have come to y'all so many times. Come to us now. So that's what I have to say. And like I said, if you take this personally, just don't run for this position. Simple as that.